everybody. This is Craig Renty from Palisade Compliance, and welcome to our webinar today. I am so happy today to be joined by Victoria Malloy from Support Revolution. Hello, Victoria.
Hi, Craig. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. This is going to be an interesting discussion because one of the things that I learned 12 years ago when I started Palisade is that customers are really frustrated with Oracle support costs. And 12 years later, it's still our number one issue that we see when we talk to customers is, how can I reduce my Oracle support? So I thought, who better to talk to about that than you? So for those who don't know Victoria, why don't you introduce yourself and Support Revolution and tell us how you help Oracle customers?
Great, thank you. So I'm Victoria Malloy. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Support Revolution. I've worked with a lot of Oracle customers who are looking to replace the support and maintenance that they get from Oracle. So we started actually Support Revolution as an Oracle partner 25 years ago this September. So it's been a long journey for us as an organization. When we started, we were an Oracle partner. So implementations, managed services, upgrades, complete new installations of the Oracle software. And that was a fantastic business for us. And it was a great time 25 years ago, 15 years ago, when organizations were still implementing the Oracle software. And then about sort of 12 years ago, our CEO, Mark Smith, looked at the market and we spoke to a lot of the customers we were working with. And they said, we don't want to keep investing. We don't want to keep paying support and maintenance. We don't want to keep upgrading continuously. The features, the functionality is not the same as it used to be. So in 2012, we changed the direction of the business to replace and work with our customers in replacing the support that they get from Oracle with our support service. So that's really where the business has gone since 2012 is effectively working, like you said, with customers who wanted to reduce their cost, but also give them that little bit of flexibility.
And you said you made that change 12 years ago?
Yeah, so the decision was 12 years ago, but we really formed Support Revolution back in 2012. And interestingly, we were an Oracle partner and an Oracle competitor on paper at the same time. So for 8 years, we were still an Oracle partner, still helping our customers do upgrades, buy new licenses, while also providing third-party support. But since 2019, the sole focus has been third-party support and maintenance. And we cancelled our Oracle partnership back in 2019.
And you also do SAP support, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started life as an Oracle partner, and then within a couple of years moved into being an SAP partner too. So it made sense that we not only provided third-party support for Oracle, but also SAP as well. So working across both. And a lot of our SAP customers are running Oracle technology within the database and the middleware side of things as well.
Right. Now, last year, Oracle announced, and this year they are implementing, at least in the States, and it's same in Europe, I think, around an 8% increase in their support costs. So
yes, they are.
If you were spending $1 million, now you're spending $1,080,000, and you're probably getting a lower level of support because your products are older and you might be slipping into extended support or sustaining support or something. So I would imagine that your phones are ringing a lot because of that. What have you seen customers' reaction to that?
Yeah, so it's a difficult one because obviously the cost of living and the financial crisis that are coming for a lot of organizations, Oracle have always put their prices up annually for inflation and rises. And typically we've seen anywhere between 3 and 5%. So we're headquartered in the UK and Europe, but we service our customers globally. So when the customers are and the clients that we work with are used to 3 to 5% and 8%, especially in this climate, they don't know where they're going to find the money from, if anything else, to find an extra 8% to pay for a support service that they're usually struggling to finance already. So for ourselves, the 8% on top of the market-driven support, on top of the sustaining support fees or the extended support fees. The phone's been ringing off the hook, and we've had a lot of marketing activity with people coming to the website and contacting us to see really what they're able to do. I think the cost savings speak for themselves, but it's working with particularly Oracle customers just to navigate the world of third-party support, to understand that, okay, well, the cost savings are great, but can we do this? What other benefits do we get? Right. So it's working with companies and the clients that we work with past the understanding of the cost savings to all the other great benefits that you get in third-party support by cutting those fees by at least 50%. And in most cases, we average around 72% for most of our clients that we work with.
Yeah, I think the 50% reduction is just sort of the tip of the spear, as they say, right? Because you're not forcing them to do upgrades and things like that, and you're supporting all their custom code. So it's a lot better for them. I mean, people don't realize a few years ago, Oracle changed how they announce their earnings, how they report to the street. A few years ago, you could see that Oracle's margins for technical support were, 95%. It was almost a $20 billion business, and 95% of that was pure profit. It's the entire profit of the company. I think they just announced earnings a few weeks ago. If you took out technical support from their books, I wonder if they would even be profitable as an organization. It is just so much that they invest into that. And it frustrates customers, right? Because they feel like they're not getting value for what they're spending. I think if they were getting, and they thought there was great support to begin with, they would pay it, but they're kind of frustrated.
And I think so. I think I've worked in the Oracle market for over 20 years now. And when I first started in the Oracle market and you were a customer and we were a partner, you'd be able to call the same consultants when you worked at Oracle. They'd know your systems, and it was a lot more engaging. And I think you kind of touched on it earlier. Now customers are very self-service when it comes to Oracle support. You pay for your upgrades, you pay for access to Oracle support, but you don't really have the relationships that you had many years ago with the consultants and the team at Oracle that are providing that support. And you'll know, Craig, back in the day, you used to be able to get upgrades every 5 years for the application, for the database and tech. It was more regular. And I think Oracle now are very much focused on cloud and SaaS products, and it's left hundreds of thousands of customers globally saying, well, what about us? What are we paying for all the time now? Why do our prices keep increasing and continuously having to upgrade? And that's really where third-party support is such a great offering to the customers that we work with. Now, they come across to us maybe for a year, 2 years, and it might start as a cost exercise. They want to save money, or they've got a digital transformation and they say, well, do you know what? Support Revolution fits in that, because we're going to maintain where we are for a couple of years and then we'll look for something else. But what we found over time is that because we do managed services as part of the offering as well, because we were an Oracle partner, they might say, well, the support partner we're working with at the moment want to upgrade our systems all the time. Part of their contract is to upgrade and apply those regular patches. But when you're in third-party support, you don't have to do that. So it makes sense to then move that element of the support across to us as well. So not only are you saving on your Oracle support fees, you're then saving on the day-to-day business as usual support side of things as well. And then it goes into the cloud hosting element of it as well. So we support customers in a number of clouds, whether it's Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS. Again, it's looking at the infrastructure and adding to those cost savings. So, well, why don't we migrate it to a cloud environment and maintain it in there for a few years? We'll save on the initial support maintenance costs. We'll put across the account managed services, and we'll just host it in a cloud environment. And then it just becomes a more rounded solution. And then customers then have the opportunity to say, well, actually, we can look at the market and see where we want to go with our systems in the future.
You bring up the cloud, and it's really interesting how Oracle And you mentioned it before, and I've had Oracle tell me flat out they would love all their customers to turn in their licenses and become subscription customers and be on OCI or some SaaS solution that they're selling. Like that's their ultimate goal. And support for Oracle used to be something that they used to entice customers to expand their usage, and it's almost now becoming a weapon that they're using against their customers. And I'll give you an example, which is the cloud, which is what you touched on. We have customers in every cloud, right? They're in Azure, they're in Google Cloud, they're in AWS, they're, wherever. And constantly, I see the emails from Oracle saying, well, that cloud's not certified by Oracle, or that's not an authorized cloud provider, or we're just flat out not going to support you in that cloud. So they're trying to use support not as a benefit to help customers deploy to any cloud, but as a weapon to bludgeon them and get them to move to OCI. So you're saying that when customers come to you, you're going to support them in any cloud and you're going to help that transition.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have customers that are on premise at the moment and say, well, we want to go to AWS. So it makes sense that these customers do it within the first 12 months. If you're an Oracle user who wants to go, or an Oracle software user who wants to go to cloud, do it in the first 12 months of moving to third-party support. Because what you're then doing is taking your current environment and guaranteeing it's going to be accredited and suitable to move to cloud. But absolutely, you can be in third-party support and still have a cloud system. You just have an infrastructure as a cloud system rather than a SaaS solution as well. So it gives that flexibility. And a lot of clients that we speak to have a cloud-first strategy where they have to migrate to cloud, or it's the business process. And it's not to say it doesn't have to be OCI. You have options out there. It's right. As long as you're licensed appropriately, and that's where you guys come in, and making sure they're licensed to be able to move to that cloud. We can support in clouds, in any cloud that the customer wants to reside in.
Right. Now, this question, I don't know if you'll have the answer off the top of your head, but it comes up with cloud customers all the time, where Oracle specifically says we won't support RAC in the cloud. Mm-hmm. Do you guys do that? Do you support customers' implementations of RAC in the cloud?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's Oracle tend to, in my experience, they tend to verge on the license aspect of it. Rather than, and they use the support word, but actually the support is just providing support for your appropriate licenses in the cloud environment. So as long as it's licensed appropriately, which is down to the client, and then when it's in the cloud, we can provide that support. And we do.
That's interesting because and Oracle specifically calls out RAC in their technical support policies. It's like the one product they say, we will not support this in the cloud. But the fact that you guys do it is another differentiator, I think, between Oracle who's trying to drive them to OCI and you guys who are trying to help them go wherever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. The differences between third-party support and Oracle support, and don't get me wrong, the Oracle products are fantastic. They're good products, but it's about giving the customers that we work with the option, the flexibility. All we're doing is providing the support for the licenses and the software that they're using. If it's customized, if they want to put it in a cloud environment, if they want to keep it on premise, we're still supporting customers on 8i databases.
Wow.
In cloud environments. Because it doesn't matter the versions of the software that you're running, everything we do is bespoke. So everything we do for our customer is a one-off bespoke fix or a solution. So it's all about getting to the root cause of their problem, no matter where they're hosted, no matter what the operating system or the version of the software.
So we had, I'd like to get into a little bit the difference between the support and how you assign your engineers and how Oracle does it. We had a client, this goes back a few years ago, and he was a CIO, brand new CIO, and he was walking the hallways and he was talking to his DBAs, and he noticed that a DBA had a little Post-it note sticking on his monitor, and it was the names of all these Oracle reps. Okay. And he was talking to the DBA, and the DBA goes, oh yeah, those are the Oracle support reps that we have. He goes, oh, you must have a great relationship with them. He goes, no. when I call Oracle support and I get one of these names, I hang up the phone immediately and I call
Oh
back
gosh.
because I know they're not going to be able to help me. So I have
Yeah.
a list of people like, do not talk to these people. So how do you guys assign, if a new customer comes to Support
Mhm.
Revolution, how do they get supported by you? What's that relationship look like?
Okay, so it kind of we tried to strategize it like the Oracle old days when you knew your consultants, you had individuals that knew your systems, your configuration, your setup. So when a new customer comes to us, they are given named consultants that they will work with, depending on the products that they've moved across to our support service. So if they're running Oracle databases, WebLogic, and applications, take the easy ones, Finance, HR, Payroll, Hyperion, Business Objects, Siebel, for example, they'd be given consultants within their specific wheelhouses for those products. Those named individuals will get to know the business, they'll get to know the client, understand all of their customizations, understand their year-end process, their payroll processing, their busy times of year, especially retailers. Obviously, we know when retail hits in, when their
Mhm.
busy times of year are. And they'll have multiple contacts across multiple different products. When they call into our service desk, they'll have named service desk managers that will also be allocated to that client and that account that they're working with. They will then triage the ticket and they will give it, their ticket will then be allocated to the named consultants, named individuals that are allocated to that client. And this is on a 24/7 basis. So whether it doesn't matter when they call us, they'll still be allocated the team, depending on where they are.
Mhm.
Then that named individual will be the person that was responsible for closing that support ticket. They will obviously use the help of the rest of the consultants that we work with if it's a particularly tricky ticket, but you'll only be speaking to one individual at the time of allowing us to close that ticket. The reason it's really important that we do that and we don't have contractors or organizations where we flow these things around with support consultants, we used individuals with a minimum of 17 years experience, and they have to have their Oracle qualifications. Because we have not only a response SLA, but also a resolution. So we commit to closing the support tickets. As an example, a priority one is a severity one. You come to us, it's really, really important to your business, high impact, high urgency. A resolution time is 2 hours
Wow.
to close that ticket and the client has the final say on when that ticket is closed. So the resolution time for a severity one is 2 hours. And that's why it's so important that we have named consultants that are working with our clients, because they will be with you on the onboarding. They'll have weekly support calls to make sure that everything's prioritized right and we're on track with the consultants. And that means we can then hit our SLAs.
Little different than how Oracle does it these days.
It is a little different. It is. And it's not just the support tickets, because you'd expect, we've been doing this for years now, you'd expect us to be able to close support tickets and we adhere to our SLA. And it's one of the things we're most proud of. But it's about having an account manager that isn't focused on upselling you licenses or isn't focused on upselling you cloud products. Your account manager's there purely just to make sure you're happy with the service. Because if you're maintaining a current version of Oracle, whether it's on premise or in a cloud for a period of time, you will want to make sure you're using us. And that's one of the most important things as well. We have a lot of customers that come to us that say, we raise 2-3 tickets a year with Oracle. And you ask them why. Well, it's on an unsupported version, or it needs a patch that needs to be developed globally, or do you know what, we've just become self-service now using my Oracle support and their knowledge base. So it's about changing the mindsets of when they come across to us and say, look, use us. This is what we're here for. Call us and ask us questions. It's not just it's broken or it's a bug, you need to fix it. It's come to us with problems, talk to us about any future roadmap or any future plans that you might have. And you can speak to our experts and they can give you their advice of years and years of working within the Oracle market as well.
What do you think? We use an expression in Palisade when we're talking about sort of the ideal client. We call them our zebra, right? Everybody
Yeah.
knows what a zebra is. You just say it's a zebra. So
Okay.
we always ask, is that a zebra for us? And everybody knows internally what we're talking about. So who is the zebra for Support Revolution? What's your ideal client? Like who would best be served by your services?
Okay. So it's not industry related or product related. It's more about an organization that is saying, okay, we have a digital roadmap. We need to go on to a new version. We need to move away from Oracle. That's usually the ideal customer that says, do you know what, actually, Oracle isn't long-term strategy for us. And I don't mean in the next 12 months. Oracle's not the long-term strategy for us within the next 3 to 5 years. In the next 3 to 5 years, we might want to start decommissioning or decompiling some of our Oracle systems, and we want to move to a complete SaaS model. We want to move completely SaaS. And you know what? Actually, the systems we've got, we're happy with where they are. We just need their critical systems, so they need to be maintained. That to us is most definitely the ideal customer. Followed very, very quickly by customers who need to make cost savings. And I think cost savings are, definitely the climate we're in at the moment. We're seeing a lot of customers come to us and say, do you know what, we don't know where we're going to be in the next 5, 6, 7 years. But today we need to cut costs, and Oracle is one of our biggest spends. And value for money, it's just not there. We're not raising tickets. We don't want to upgrade anymore. Let's just cut the costs.
And I think that's definitely where the third-party support model works, because we see that, obviously customers that come to us are not happy Oracle customers. They have a problem, right? It's usually they're being audited, or they don't know if they're in compliance, so whatever. So they're already not happy with Oracle. And then they'll come to us with their plans. We're moving away from Oracle. We're moving to whatever products. And we're going to reduce our support costs, right? We're using 1,000, we're going to use 500, and Oracle is going to reduce our support in half. Yeah. And then we have to be the bearer of bad news. But I think that's where you guys come in, right? That's interesting that people who they have to, and I think the way you put it was, we're not getting rid of Oracle completely, but just our most critical system or this one application over here. And then they're stuck with these support contracts, and then they realize, we can't reduce our cost, right? So I totally see that as a natural jumping off point for you guys.
It is. And I think the way that we work is slightly different to Oracle. And we've all heard the stories of you go back in and it's repriced and it's recosted and it comes back at more expensive as if you'd kept the software in the first place. So when a customer moves across to us, we work with them to have a really clear understanding of all of the software that they're using. And similar to Oracle, we give them a cost per unit. So if you're running 1,000 databases this year, it's going to cost you X. And you say, well, actually, I might want to reduce those in year 2 to 500, like you said. The cost then goes down to 500 and we don't recalculate it. You have a set fee for the term of your contract with us. So most of the customers that we work with every single year, they'll review their Oracle estate and say, well, actually, we haven't turned that on and we haven't used that anymore. And we're going to completely decommission payroll because we're outsourcing payroll now. So let's remove it. We're not supporting it. So we remove it from the software costs. And then you kind of a bit more in control. That's what we find. A lot of our customers say, well, they can work out their budgets themselves every year because they know what they're going to be spending with us.
That is so foreign to how Oracle does it. It's like the opposite. It is, and I think,
but it's very clear, and it means we have a really good relationships with the customers that we work with because there's no hidden extras. We don't charge for account management. We're not charging you for if your systems win. There's no upgrade. Right. There is if you wanted them to be, but if you don't want to upgrade, there's no additional support fees. And I think you mentioned earlier the 8% increase from Oracle this year. We didn't give our customers anything anywhere near that. If you're into contract term with us, the price stays the same. It only reduces, it doesn't increase.
Right. So the New York cynical guy who's been dealing with Oracle for 25 years, I'm like, what's the catch? Where are they going to get me? What about...
I get that a lot. Yeah, I get that.
There's got to be something.
Look, the one thing is, it's about once you leave Oracle, you're not entitled to any new software that they release under those CSIs. But if you look back and say, well, actually, what have they released in the last 5 years? There's been no major changes. There's been no huge changes, no incredible new functionality. If you look at the applications, a lot of them were on a terminal release. If you look at things like Hyperion and Siebel and FlexCube, they're going to be unsupported very, very soon, if not now already, on a number of versions. And the Oracle database is becoming very clear. It's cloud ready. It's getting ready to be supported as a fully rounded service in the OCI environment. And I think there's only so many things you can do to tweak an ERP before you say, well, actually, there's no real new functionality in there. So when you get down to it and you go through it with the customers that we work with and say, well, actually, what have you gained? What has been your ROI for all these upgrades that you've done in the last 5 years, for example? And then you think, well, okay, well, I'm not getting access to those upgrades anymore. I can live with that. MyOracle support's another big thing. When people say, what's the catch? I don't have access to MyOracle support anymore. But it's our Bible, it's our tool, it's how we run our business, it's how we run the ERP and the databases. So like I said, we've been around for 25 years. We have a self-service portal in our Remedy4 system that our customers have access to use. So we have tens of thousands of knowledge base articles in there. So if they want to self-service, they can. But we're actually suggesting that you don't. You allow us to look after your systems for you, and then your teams can look to the future. What do they want to work on? What new exciting projects can they work on? So when you say, what's the catch? Yeah, I personally don't think there is one. If it's right for your business, and I think if it's right for your business and your organization, and you say, well, actually, there isn't going to be a new release and the functionality isn't what I need it to be, then there is no catch. You get better support for a lower price.
The way you suggest that they not self-service and that they call the engineers and they, let them help, that is literally the opposite of how Oracle does it. So Victoria, if I'm a customer and I'm thinking about third-party support, what's that process look like? How do I get started? How do I get a hold of you guys?
Okay. So I think there's two things to look at when you're going to third-party support. So I would recommend the first thing is reach out to us, come along to our website, understand what services we do. And there's lots of options on there to see, look, there's lots of scenarios. Is this who I am? Is this where my business is now? Do I need to save money? Am I on a transformation journey? Are these the products that I feel are end of life or unsupported at the moment? So come along to our website and have a look on there to see if there's anything that you think, do you know what, that's exactly the scenario I'm in at the moment. This is where I need to be. And then get in contact with us, and one of our team will reach out to you, and we'll kick things off with an introductory meeting. Just understand a little bit more about your organization, your current setup, and where you want to be in the future, where your pain points are. Understand your pain points is the most important thing. Understanding the pain points, we can then sit with clients that we work with and understand, okay, so your pain points are 1, 2, 3. We can help with 1, 2, 3. And just reach out and have an open conversation. I think when you're looking at third-party support, it's really good to have an idea in your mind of what you want to get out of third-party support. Is it purely for cost savings? If it's purely for cost savings, then you kind of set your own invoice. You know what you're spending at the moment, so you know what your cost savings are going to be when moving to third-party support. If it's, I want to move to cloud, or I've got a different strategy and it's not staying with Oracle for the next 4 or 5 years, then it works so well when organizations share that with us, because we are then become part of that journey, and we can help them write the business plan to move away from Oracle and what that would look like for your organization. But I think the most important thing when you've got an idea of going to third-party support, is speak to the business, speak to stakeholders within your business and say, look, I've had this idea. I think moving to third party would really help us commercially or technically, and gauge where they are with it. Because not everyone's heard of third party support. And it's one of those things where Oracle's always been a staple. The bill for Oracle has been the bill for Oracle every year. And it comes around once a year and everybody just pays it. So it's understanding, okay, well, we're paying it with the stakeholders every year, but what do you get for that? What do you get for those bills that you pay every year? Are you seeing value for it? And if they can't really think of anything, then I think your business is absolutely primed for looking at third-party support.
That's I couldn't agree more. I think people are used to paying that bill, but now they're questioning that bill a little bit. So do you guys have any white papers or anything that we can point folks to get some information on Support Revolution?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can send some links. Our marketing team do a great job on content. So not only the sales content that everybody would receive, but things like the Leaving Oracle Guide. We give you a step-by-step guide as to how you would start the journey for leaving Oracle into the third-party support world. So not only the Leaving Oracle Guide, the Building a Business Case document is very, very good. So if you're an organizer, you want to share it with your stakeholders internally, or you're one of the stakeholders, we've got documents that will help you build your business case. But more importantly are some of our customer testimonials. I think reading some of those customer testimonials of how what their journey has been like when moving to Support Revolution and our support service, and how it's changed how they see Oracle. And I think one of the biggest things is when customers with Oracle, their sales tactics are very clear. Everybody understands what the sales tactics are with Oracle. And I think sometimes that takes away from the software and how good the software is itself. So speaking to some of the customers that we work with who have thought, right, we're going to come across for 12 months, and then 5, 6, 7 years later, they're still here. And we're still supporting the software, and they're continuing to edit and enhance and change the software because they have that flexibility. So some of the customer testimonials are definitely on the website. Download those and read those. They're very, very good to just show you who we've been doing it with and what industries and what the benefits they've seen.
Terrific, terrific. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today and telling us all about Support Revolution. We all met, just so folks listening in, we have mutual clients. So that's how we met each other. And our clients who work with Support Revolution love them. So that's why we love to do these sort of interviews and testimonials. So if you're an Oracle customer looking to get the most value out of the investments you've already made in Oracle, as well as save some money, calling Support Revolution is definitely a great option for you. Encourage everyone to do that. So, Victoria, thank you. Good luck with your weather.
Thank you, Craig. I'm looking forward to the storm coming in today.
Awesome. And everyone, thank you for your time today, and good luck with Oracle, everyone.
Great. Bye. Thanks. Bye-bye.